If you've ever been told that tight houses cause mold or that houses need to breathe, those are some very common misconceptions out there, and I'm going to clear them up for you right now. Houses don't need to breathe, but people do. When people talk about houses needing to breathe, they're actually talking about controlling moisture, not allowing random air leaks to occur in the house. So why do people believe that houses need to breathe? To answer this question, I need to give you a quick history lesson on home construction. This myth comes from an old school mentality within the construction industry dating back to the 1800s and early 1900s. Back in that day, when homes were built, they were very leaky because of the way they were constructed. There were no top or bottom plates to walls, which created big air leakage paths from cellars and crawl spaces all the way up through walls and into attics. This early type of framing is called balloon framing because it was lighter than post and beam style construction that was used before, and it was held together with nails instead of mortised beams and joints. Builders also didn't have exterior wall sheathing like OSB, plywood, or foam board materials that we have today, and instead the wood siding acted as the sheathing, except it wasn't really an air barrier like real sheathing is today. Those leaky homes brought in plenty of air from the outside and kept them dry year-round, but as you learned earlier in this course, that uncontrolled airflow also comes through holes in walls, foundations, and around windows and doors, and through ceilings from attic spaces. That uncontrolled airflow also brought with it dust, pollen, moisture, and other things that you don't want coming inside your home, and that still happens today in leaky houses. As time went on and building techniques advanced, homes were built with top and bottom plates and wall sheathing, not only for structural support, but also for fire safety. When an old leaky house catches fire, that dry wood and airflow really accelerates how quickly a fire can spread throughout the house. So building codes also started requiring draft stopping, which included better framing techniques, adding fire-resistant insulation in some places, and fire-resistant sealant to places where air leaks in and out. As home building techniques advanced, a side benefit was they got less and less leaky. The problem was that before this time, nobody really had to worry about removing moisture created inside homes since they were so leaky. And now that houses were being built tighter, any moisture found indoors wasn't naturally leaving by air leakage, and issues with moisture damage started becoming a thing. Remember in previous chapters when we talked about fixing moisture issues before air sealing? Well, this is the original example of why. So to combat these new issues builders are finding, they started installing exhaust fans in bathrooms with showers and tubs, and in kitchens to move the steam from cooking food outside. Sometimes that was done right, but often it was not, and instead the vents just dumped the moisture into attic spaces and made problems worse. As more and more homes fell victim to issues with moisture damage, eventually builders realized they had to start paying attention to how water drained from roofs onto walls and around windows and doors, and so flashing these intersections were eventually required by code to prevent water damage in those areas. Many builders didn't understand the reasons behind all these new requirements, and frankly a lot still don't today. And so they blamed the cause of these new moisture issues on tighter houses, and that same basic misunderstanding is still prevalent in the construction industry today, unfortunately.